Dr. Dan's Freedom Forum is on the air.
Good evening. This is Dr. Dan, and this is Freedom Forum Live, streamed live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Tonight, Charlie Kirk and the Grassy Knoll. For each of us, there is a moment in time when the age of innocence comes to an end. As a child, we have a small circle of trust. It is limited by a child's lack of mobility and a dependency on adults for every necessity of life. A baby's life is based on physical verification of everything. He feels a nipple of some kind in his mouth, and it provides food. He learns hot, cold, soft, hard, rough, smooth by direct touch. And anything he cannot touch or feel for himself is an enigma. He has no way to understand what it is. A toddler has mobility, but still must rely on parental type persons of some kind to answer the what, why, and how questions. Again, it's that small circle of trust that shapes his ideas about an unknown outside world that he has yet to experience. Once a child is exposed to others outside of the immediate family, the circle of trust begins to expand with a gradual transfer of trust to friends and ultimately to himself. It's all part of the process of separating from family control and becoming one's own person. Judging truth becomes more difficult, but most of us find anchors of some kind to help us verify what is real and what is not. After World War II, Americans in general had a high level of trust in the government. We had just defeated two evil empires. The economy was booming, and America was unchallenged as the greatest nation on earth. Less than 20 years later, the Vietnam War changed America forever. For my generation, that's when distrust for the government began, questioning the rationale for the war and the actions taken across the world in Southeast Asia. For most of us, however, the sentinel event of that era was the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. JFK was a young man with charisma whose presence in the Oval Office gave us all hope for a bright future. I can tell you exactly where I was when he was assassinated. It cast a cloud of uncertainty on my future. It was all made worse when I personally watched on my black and white TV Jack Ruby shoot and kill Lee Harvey Oswald. That's when we began to hear multiple stories and explanations of who did what to whom. We all watched the Zapruder film frame by frame. I remember frame by frame they showed the Zapruder film. We listened as the Warren Commission ignored events we knew had occurred, invented a path of a magic bullet that we knew was impossible, and eventually whitewashed the tragedy for all to see. Millions of Americans share those exact feelings to this day. It was, in fact, the end of our age of innocence. In the decades since, we have witnessed a long progression of actions by the federal government that most of us recognize are unwise, deceitful, unconstitutional, and a threat to the survival of our country. Our people have been divided into a provider class and a recipient class to fuel the lust for power and the greed of politicians and bureaucrats who make up a government ruled by the uniparty that disregards the will of we, the people. As the layers of the onion are now being peeled away, we can all see that the government has been covering up decades of lying, cheating, and stealing beyond our wildest imagination. Enter Charlie Kirk. He was a man of character and faith who recognized the problems, but more importantly, he understood how to turn the tide. He wrote a book, How We Win, to teach us all how we restore the greatness of America, what steps we have to take, what actions we have to take. We have to get off the sofa and do these things in order to restore our nation. The hippies of the 60s were taught Rules of Radicals by Saul Alinsky, chanting, "Don't trust anyone over 30. They became teachers and brainwashed 2 generations of our children to accept their collectivist belief system. Charlie Kirk spoke to those 2 lost generations with a voice of reason, logic, and truth. And they listened as he asked, "Prove me wrong." For those young folks, he is John F. Kennedy. We all watched and studied the videos of Charlie Kirk's assassination, examining each person's actions, hand movements, what they held, where they were running, and their suspicious actions. An alleged perpetrator has been arrested and charged with the crime. Nevertheless, just as we did after JFK's assassination, we now question whether the shooter acted alone or is he just a patsy, possibly like Lee Harvey Oswald, a pawn in a conspiracy to silence someone who was a danger to the arrogant global elite, the so-called deep state, and their plans to destroy the sovereignty of the United States. Just as it was with the assassination of John F. Kennedy, there are too many unanswered questions about the assassination of Charlie Kirk to know the full story yet at this time. But both Kennedy and Kirk were a threat to the status quo. We may never know the truth about either one, but the sniper behind the fence on the grassy knoll definitely did kill President John F. Kennedy. And Lee Harvey Oswald was seen eating lunch in the cafeteria when the assassination occurred. So here are my 1,000 thoughts for you all. I have 3 rules for living in peace and harmony with others. Live and let live. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And don't hurt anyone, and don't take their stuff. Here's a video that talks about those facts. America is angrily divided. We have lost the ability to disagree without being hateful to each other. We have been purposefully divided into groups. We are no longer one national community dedicated to pursuing the true general welfare of all equally. Since the government cannot give you anything it does not first steal from someone else, benefits given to some must be taken from others. That creates anger and resentment. A nation divided against itself cannot stand. Saul Alinsky, and the fascist elite know that. This is Dr. Dan. Want to live together in peace again? There are 3 rules. Live and let live. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And don't hurt anyone, and don't take their stuff. This is Dr. Dan. Thank you for watching. Good night.